Over the years, I've seen good businesses go out backwards, not because they weren't good at what they did, but because their cash flow was not managed. Cash is king. Guard your war chest like it's the last dollars you have. Hi there, I'm back this week, and over the next few weeks, I'm going to run through a few of what I call TC's rules of business. These are rules that I have seen work over the last almost 30 years, running my own business and working with clients who are also in business. Rule number one is pretty simple. Cash is king. Not the folding stuff, I mean your cash flow. If you can manage your cash flow, you can do almost anything in business. If you can't manage your cash flow, even good businesses are going to strike trouble because working capital does not care how good your product is or your service. Bills still land, wages still land, suppliers still hit. So let's talk about the levers that actually move the needle. With your invoicing, this is the most basic thing ever, and it gets missed more than you would think. The last thing you want to do after a day at work is come home and do all the paperwork and all that administrative stuff. If you don't raise an invoice, you're never going to get paid. This requires some diligence, otherwise it's going to get delayed. What I'd look at doing from a practical perspective is raise an invoice as soon as the job gets complete or the work gets to a certain stage. The next thing we need to look at is debtors collections. And there's nothing fun about that, but it is one of the most important jobs in your business. And this all comes down to the key thing probably in life, and that's communication. If someone is behind, pick up the phone, work out where they're at. Don't hide behind emails and hope it sorts itself out. If your customer or client is genuinely under pressure, set up a payment plan. Even small periodic payments are better than silence. If that customer or client is a repeat offender, maybe consider invoicing more frequently or getting a deposit up front. The goal is simple. Shorten the time frame between doing the work and the cash arriving in your bank account. Considering stock or work in progress. If you sell products, stock is cash sitting on a shelf. If you sell services, work in progress is a very similar thing. You've paid the wages, you've paid the suppliers, but you've not yet raised an invoice. That time lag is a killer for cash flow. Practically, once again, with your stock, consider ordering smaller quantities, even if the unit price is higher, because your cash is going to be freed up sooner. With your work in progress, bill by stage, bill more frequently. Move it from work in progress to sales as quickly as possible. Do not let paid work sit there unbilled. And then your creditors. Let's flip that around. Your trade creditors are money going out to your suppliers. If you can see a bottleneck coming in the next few months, don't wait for the supplier to call you. Just as you would like, on the flip side of that, get on the front foot. If they are calling you, you're already on the back foot. Get on the phone early. No one needs BS. They want facts and a plan. Can you pay it over a couple of months or a few months? Set up a payment plan that's realistic. Communication early buys you options. And then within your own business, we need to consider seasonality. Sometimes it's your industry. Ice cream, for example, in winter is going to strike trouble. Sometimes it's Australia. Christmas hits, the whole country slows down for a few weeks. Some sectors do not properly fire up again until after Australia Day. Now is the time. Don't wait till December. Work out what you need to cover. Wages, leave and public holidays, overheads, and the reality that invoicing and collections can slow down over that period. And then build a war chest progressively. Little bits, consistently, well before the pinch point arrives. Look at your cash flow management. It also comes down to watching your spending. Periodically review your overheads. Subscriptions, software, insurances, vehicles and equipment. Before spending and while you're reviewing your current spending, consider, do I really need to be paying this? If you're thinking about financing something shiny, pause. Do I need it now or can it wait 6 or 12 months? Don't blaze away and walk out of the showroom with a shiny new Ranger because someone says to you that everything is deductible. Spend because it helps the business, not because it gives you a tax deduction. A deduction does not make a bad spend a good idea. You're still out of pocket. And then something we all have to consider in business Keep your eye on the ATO debts as well. They can quietly snowball if you stop looking. Unfortunately, over the years, I've seen good businesses go out backwards, not because they weren't good at what they did, but because their cash flow was not managed. Running a cash flow week to week is exhausting. Playing catch up then can take months or sometimes years. You want to get in front of the wave. Here is the practical takeaway. Once a week, at the absolute outside, do a quick cash check. Consider your bank accounts. What's actually in there today? Your debtors. What's overdue? Who are you going to call this week? Your creditors. What's due to be paid? What needs managing before it becomes a problem? And consider other upcoming payments. What's about to land? Wages, super, BAS, rent, loan repayments, those large supplier invoices. It's those weekly habits that will keep you in control. Cash is king. Guard your war chest like it's the last dollars you have. That's TC's first rule of business. I'm TC, and that's my 2 cents. Now, before you jump, if you got something out of this, like, subscribe, or share. The videos are for information purposes only. I'm just a poor simple bean counter and no substitute for good financial advice. Any commentary or advice is general only. If you would like tailored advice, be it business advice, tax or accounting advice, please contact me at admin@atomicba.au. If you've got a topic that you'd like me to cover, hit me up in the comments below or email me at tc@tcs2cents.com.au.